Hello! So today I'm going to be doing something that's very exciting that I do too often. I'm going to be doing a book haul for the month of May. Yay! I feel like everyone always starts off their book hauls with, I didn't plan to buy this many books, but I didn't plan to buy this many books. I don't know how it happened. I have no money to spend on books, but I spend it on books. So let's go through them. At least I'll have a video to do about it. I think first we should just get the obvious out of the way for what I bought in the month of May. That's A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I mean, of course. Who do you think I am? Of course I bought this. Throne of Glass is my favorite series. Sarah J. Maas is my favorite author. Of course I bought this. If you didn't know, this is a sequel to Sarah J. Maas's book, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and it was fantastic. I really liked ACOTAR, but I didn't love it. I don't know why I didn't love it, but I did like it a lot, so I was excited to get this, and I was looking forward to picking it up, but I did not prepare myself for what was inside this book. I am just so in love with this book. It's a bit of an obsession at this point. It's not healthy. I like this book better than some books in the Throne of Glass series, and I said it. I 10 out of 10 think you should pick up this series. The first book I don't know what you're feeling. I really liked it. I might have been not in the right mentality to read it, you know. I'm a mood reader. But the second book is worth oh my god, it was so fantastic. I don't know how to describe to you how much I love this book. And while I was getting A Court of Mist and Fury, I also got Trials of Apollo by Rick Riordan. How do you say Rick Riordan? I say Rick Riordan. Say Rick Riordan, or there's a lot of different pronunciations. I say Rick Riordan. I hope I'm correct. I can't even count how many spin-offs he has. Okay. He has 3. So basically, Trials of Apollo is about Apollo does something bad, and to punish him, Zeus throws him to Earth as a teenage boy, and he has to figure out how to get around Earth as a teenage boy. And the first place he goes, of course, is Camp Half-Blood. So I'm really excited to read this. I think it's going to be so much fun. I love this world, and I love these characters, and I'm so excited to read this. If you haven't read Percy Jackson yet, you should. I at first found it very daunting to try to read the Percy Jackson series because there's so many books and so many spin-offs, and I didn't know what to do. But once you get the lay of the land, then it's nice, and it's really good, and you should definitely read it. Next, I found a random used bookstore in my area that I did not know existed until now. I've lived here my whole life, and I had no idea this was down the street from me. And it was so cute, and it had so many books for so cheap. So I got 3. First here I have The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. My friend has been telling me to read this forever, for so long, and I never picked it up because I didn't know how to feel about it. It sounded kind of a little weird. So basically, this book has been around forever. It's really popular. I think it's a movie, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's a movie. This book follows a main character who's already in heaven looking down on her family and everything, and she was murdered. She's watching her family put together the pieces of what happened, I believe, and it's supposed to be really heart-wrenching and really kind of freaky and weird. I'm usually into that. I don't know when I'll pick it up though. These next 2 books I did not have to spend my money on. I did not need these at all, and I still bought them. First is Catching Fire, the UK edition. I did not need this. The spine is broken, first of all. The pages are like miscolored. They're so old and maybe got wet. I don't know. It's kind of gross. But I love the Hunger Games, so when I saw a UK edition, I was like, wow, I need it. I don't have any foreign editions on my shelf, so it felt very fitting that the first one would be in the Hunger Games trilogy, because I love the Hunger Games trilogy. I've never actually showed it online, but I have kind of a little Hunger Games shrine on one side of my bookshelf. Whenever I finally film a bookshelf tour, you'll see. And the next book I really also didn't need. I don't know if I mentioned this here either, but I collect Sherlock Holmes copies. Fun! I have 12 copies of Sherlock Holmes. I have seen people have like 200 copies of a certain book, which makes me feel a little better. Which makes me feel a little bit better about having 12 copies. I don't really know how it happened. It was I don't know how it happened, how I started collecting them, but now I do, and I love Sherlock Holmes so much that whenever I see an edition, I have to have it. This is probably the oldest one I have now. The spine is also broken. There's a note inside of it that says, "A Merry Christmas to Frank from Gracie, December 25th, 94. Wow. I love having that kind of stuff in books. I think it's just so neat, and I don't know. I think it's really cool, so I am very excited to own this. There seems to be a reoccurring theme in this video where I keep saying I didn't need it, but the amount of money I spent on books that I just don't need to buy freaks me out a little bit. Then I went to Barnes & Noble, and I bought some things. The first book I have is On Writing by Stephen King. This is Stephen's memoir all about writing and his experiences and basically just a how-to on how to be an author, basically. I started this and I'm on page 70. Because I was in a reading slump, it wasn't really helping because it's nonfiction, so you know, that should explain it all. But I'm really, really excited to pick it back up again, which I should be doing sometime this month now that it's June, and hopefully I'm out of this slump. Hopefully. Next I have The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I have seen this book everywhere. I've heard so many different opinions about it, so I'm super, super, super interested in it, and I'm so excited to pick it up, which I think I'll probably do very soon. I don't really want to read too much about it because I think I'll get the full experience if I go into it pretty blind. But from what I gathered, it's about this girl, Rachel, who commutes on a train, I believe, every day, and she sees these same people outside every single day, and then one day they're not there or something, and she investigates it. It sounds really cool, but I really want to immerse myself in this book without knowing a lot, so if it interests you, look it up, and look at the summary, unless you're like me, and you don't want to. Cool. Next, I got a book that I'm currently lending out, so I don't have it in person here, sorry. But that is Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. Look how big it is. Wow. I am sure you've heard about this book, because everyone's heard about this book by this point. I'm a little late to jump on the bandwagon, but I did want to pick this up back in March, I want to say. Honestly, the day the trailer came out is when I found out about it, like everyone else, and that's when I wanted to buy it, but I didn't buy it till now, because I don't know why. But I finally picked it up, I finally read it, and I love it. I'm absolutely in love with it. I really was expecting kind of the simple, traditional, you know, lovey-dovey, contemporary, whatever. But it wasn't like that at all, and I'm so happy it wasn't like that. If you don't know what it's about, it takes place in England, and it follows our main character, Lou, who is trying to land any job she can so she can support her family because they're not really doing well. And she ends up getting a job as a caretaker for a quadriplegic named Will. I forgot his name for a second. His name is Will. And they don't really get along at all, but then they begin to mold a very interesting friendship, and the dynamic is great, the banter is great, I love it. Just to add to that, Sam Claflin and Emilia Clarke are two of my favorite actors, and they're going to be in this movie together. I am so excited. I went to Costco for the first time this month, and I found out while I was there, they have a lot of paperback books for really, really cheap. First, I have City of Thieves by David Benioff. I'm sorry. I've heard so much about this. I've wanted to read this for a really long time, especially because I love historical fiction. Like, I really love historical fiction. This takes place during World War II, and it follows two characters who are in prison, and instead of being executed, they are given a chance to save their own lives by going on kind of like this wild goose chase to find a dozen eggs for a Soviet colonial, oh my god, I can't talk. For a Soviet colonial, that took me so many tries to say, for his daughter's wedding cake. And back then, that kind of stuff was absolutely impossible to find. So a dozen eggs, they basically did not even exist. So these two guys have to try to find this and try to save their lives. And it sounds really good, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. And I'm always excited to read another good historical fiction. However, I think I've kind of read too many historical fictions lately, because now I realize that if you read too much of one genre at one time, you kind of get sick of it just a little bit. And that's kind of what happened to me, and I think that's kind of what started my slump. So I won't read this for a little while because I want to make sure I'm fully back in the historical fiction mood to read it and enjoy it. Next, I have Tell the Wolves I'm Home by Carol Rivka Brunt. didn't. I'm gonna be honest, this was a cover buy. Look at this cover. It's so pretty. I had never heard of this book. I'd never heard anything about it, but the back kind of intrigued me, so I picked it up. I wasn't totally in love with the summary, so I didn't really know what to expect, but it has a lot of really good reviews. It was named one of the best books of the year. It's winner of the Alex Award, named a favorite read by Gillian Flynn. Oh my god, the next book I have is by Gillian Flynn. So I read this with basically no standards, no expectations, and I ended up loving it. You can watch my May wrap-up that I did, and I go a bit more in depth about how I feel about the book and all that kind of jazz. I really liked it, and I'm so happy I read it. It takes place in 1987, and it follows a 14-year-old girl named June, and her very, very best and only friend in the world is her Uncle Uncle Finn. But then one day he very suddenly dies, and she's kind of thrust into this world without him, until one day she discovers one of his friends that he never told her about. This new friend is the only person who misses Finn as much as June does, so they kind of start a really weird friendship, just mourning Finn and trying to go on life without him, and it's really, really good, and I'm so happy I read it. I really liked it. Is it Jillian or Gillian? I am so sorry that I don't know. I have a feeling it's Jillian. I probably sound so stupid. I'm sorry. That's Gone Girl. Yay! I will admit that I saw the movie first. I don't think I even knew it was a book when I saw the movie, and the movie came up like this, like it wasn't a planned thing. I remember watching the movie. I didn't know what it was about, but I heard a lot of really cool things about it. So I went into it not knowing anything, and oh my god. I loved it. I absolutely loved the film, and I'm pretty sure she wrote the script for it, or at least helped write the script. And I'm really excited to read this. I'll be honest, I don't know when I'm going to read this. I forgot I even bought this, but I am definitely going to read it because I loved the movie, so the book can only be better. And finally, the last book I have to show you. Can't believe I bought this. It's a new Harry Potter coloring book of the magical places and characters. I already have this super, super nice coloring book. It's like gold and it's really big, so I did not need to buy another one. But I did. Now I have two coloring books that I will probably not color in because I don't want to ruin them. Is that weird? Is that weird I'm doing that? I love them. I am so happy I have them, and that I spent my money on getting another one. And these are all my books. So these are all the books I bought in the month of May. It's a bit ridiculous. But thank you for watching. Bye!